Top 5 reasons why John Wick is not dead. The John Wick franchise has been a memorable journey with the action-packed antiques of the titular assassin. With the recent release, John Wick Chapter 4 has ended things differently than usual. The apparent on-screen death of John Wick and the climatic moments of the movie has left fans speculating whether the seasoned hitman is actually dead or it is just a trick to fool the world. In this video, we will be discussing 5 crucial reasons as to why we think that John Wick might still be alive. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
Mr. Wick is gone.
A true tragedy.
He has survived a lot worse. The dueling sequence in John Wick Chapter 4 shows John Wick being shot fatally by the blind assassin Kane, and later he seemingly succumbs to his injuries. While this might look deadly enough, we cannot bring in the same comparisons for a man of the stature of John Wick. Previously, in John Wick Chapter 3, he has survived a lot worse when Winston shot him multiple times on the terrace of the New York Continental. Although the shots were purposely fired on his bulletproof suit to make it less fatal, the impact flung him off the roof. He fell from a great height and banged his body on multiple surfaces before dropping onto the road below. The fall alone should have been fatal for an average individual, but John Wick recovers from his injuries pretty quickly. We have reasons to believe that a man like John Wick, who survived this brutal encounter, can survive a round of 3 bullets, none of which seem to hit vital organs. He has previously been shot by various assassins, and he brushes off bullet injuries like a minor cut or a scratch. We have seen John patch himself up and get going in a matter of hours after being shot, and there is no reason to fall for the logic that Kane's shots killed him. John Wick tried to fake his death before. If this turns out to be one of those times when John Wick is faking his death, it wouldn't be the first time that would happen. Previously, John Wick has tried his best to fake his death in order to evade the prying eyes of the High Table. In John Wick Chapter 3, the whole point of Winston shooting him was to make it look like he has been killed. The adjudicator was initially convinced before she realized that the assassin had gotten away even after the severe fall and being shot multiple times. The plan did not work the last time because it was not well orchestrated. There is also a possibility that Winston merely shot him to buy him some time to escape, and it was not really a plan for the long run to lead the High Table into thinking that John Wick is dead. Whatever the case, John's death was not convincing enough the last time around, and it makes sense for him to be better prepared this time. If you consider the post-duel scenes in John Wick Chapter 4, the weary hitman drops down to the ground, clearly severely injured from his bullet wounds. The scene then cuts away straight to his tombstone beside that of his late wife. His epitaph reads, "Loving husband," the exact words he wanted there, and 2 of his most trusted friends, the Bowery King and Winston, attend their respects. There can be nothing more convincing than such elaborate planning, because even the High Table will now come to terms with John's death. It just seems like a better plan than before, and a great way to finally enjoy the retirement that the assassin has been seeking all this while. John Wick wants to live to cherish his wife's memories. John Wick might be playing with danger like it's no big deal, but he clearly values his life quite a lot. He is anything but self-destructive or suicidal, and we haven't seen the man giving up even in the worst of situations. In the first movie, his final fight with Vigo leaves him severely injured and bleeding profusely. It seems like he has given up on his will to live momentarily, but after playing a video of his late wife on his phone, he gets up on his feet and walks away to live another day. This rejuvenated version of John Wick has a reason and purpose to live so that his wife's memories can be cherished by him. This urge to live is strong enough for him to give in to Santino's marker claim in the second movie, and this is also what drives John to seek a meeting with the Elder, the leader of the High Table in John Wick Chapter 3. He willingly chops off his ring finger and surrenders his beloved wedding ring before the Elder as a sign of his loyalty, just because he wants to live and remember his wife. It seems slightly outrageous that a man with such a strong will to live will give up on everything just because of a duel. This belief system is what drives John Wick, and even his concern for his old friend Kane or his urge to revenge on Marquis Vincent de Gramoth wouldn't be enough to sacrifice on that. We believe that John Wick is not dead because the man has expressed a strong desire to survive the most challenging odds in his life.
Hey boy,
Why does his dog look away? The director, Chad Stahelski, has not spilled the beans on his opinion on whether or not John Wick is actually dead. He might have left it up to the interpretation of the audience, but there is a subtle hint in the recent release that has led many into thinking that John Wick is not really dead. In the last scene of the movie, before the credits start rolling, Winston and the Bowery King are paying their respects to John Wick in front of what looks like his tombstone. They are accompanied by John's beloved pet, the fiercely loyal pit bull, and the two men have a brief conversation, which is somewhat ambiguous. The Bowery King wonders if John is currently in heaven or hell, and Winston responds with a mysterious, "Who knows? Does heaven and hell indicate different places that John could be in? And are the two men aware that John Wick has faked his death?" The trace of Winston's trademark smirk on his face has fueled several fan theories that claim John Wick has simply gone into hiding away from the public eye. What is more noticeable is the behavior of John Wick's pit bull, who turns his head suddenly to look at something at a distance. Whatever he observes makes the dog noticeably restless, and the scene soon cuts away. We have reasons to believe that the dog actually saw his owner at a distance, and John might just be observing his two old friends putting up a charade for his sake. He could be in disguise, or he could be standing at a great distance, but his loyal pet somehow got a whiff of his scent, and the dog is now aware of his master's presence, which makes him restless. If the detailing of this scene has any real purpose, then John Wick is surely alive and waiting to drop by in the next story. The franchise wouldn't be the same without John Wick. We are far too invested in the actual fate of John Wick, but it is worth remembering that John is only a fictional character. Whether he lives or dies is not defined by logic or reason, but by the whims and fancies of the writer. However, the writer has to pay attention to the fan opinions in this regard, because defying the fans is a sure-shot recipe for disaster. The main reason behind the grand success of the franchise has been the presence of Keanu Reeves playing the titular role. The fans associate and identify him as the character that defines the series, and no other character has the same amount of praise. Would a studio as smart as Lionsgate be suicidal enough to take out the heart of the franchise? Without John Wick taking center stage, the next movies are doomed. Even if they have a really good story around the other characters, there would just not be enough fan interest to watch a John Wick movie without John Wick. The makers are well aware of these nuances, and we strongly believe that they would be bringing back Keanu Reeves in a while to reprise the role. Besides, Keanu Reeves is still fit as a fiddle, and he is capable of giving a few more years to the franchise. With a good story and on the backdrop of a remarkable box office performance of John Wick Chapter 4, it is a mouth-watering prospect that would be too precious to lose. Only time will tell if these theories are just imaginations running wild, or if they actually take shape to define the future course of John Wick. With the director refusing a clear stand and the studio remaining tight-lipped, we can only wait and watch if John Wick actually makes a return. Do let us know in the comments what you think about our theories, and also tell us about your thoughts on John Wick's fate in the future editions of the franchise.